of the ways that we have discussed, certainly, and I suppose it came from, when we first met on American Horror Story, there was a particular event happening at the time, and it's really when we first became friends, and I approached you, and we'd been talking, but I was very confused, and it was an event that included a racial injustice. And I said, I just don't understand here what's really going on. And I want to become clear about it, because this is my bias in it, and I don't understand the other side of the picture. And we just had a conversation. And one of the things that I learned from that conversation, and then we had many more conversations, and I think it's where a part of the problem comes in for us white people, is that you risk being uncomfortable or being called out on being quote unquote racist. And when people hear that they're being racist, the first thing they think is that they are being consciously mean, that they have conscious malintent directed towards a person of color. And I think what's important to note is that you also have to look at your unconscious bias, and that when your racism is checked, and we were able to have these conversations because we became friends, that you have to actually sit in the discomfort of the moment. And rather than becoming just purely ashamed and guilty, and now I'm going to avoid you because I don't want this event to happen again, and so now I'm punishing you for calling me out on my racial bias, and now I can talk to my friends about this, and now I can, et cetera, actually sitting in the discomfort and saying, where is it that I'm going wrong here? What is it that I'm saying that is either offensive or is hurting you or is using oppressive language? And I think one of the things that really helped me with this was a quote about, it's from Robin DiAngelo, which is that prejudice is your thoughts, feelings, attitudes, biases, and how you perceive either consciously or unconsciously. So it's what's in your head. And discrimination is when you act on those prejudices. Now, everybody, I came to understand, because, we have the Black Lives Matter movement. And one of the things that I think frustrates me the most is this whole counter all lives matter movement, that it's, well, all lives matter. And I've been really trying to wrap my head around why it is that we need to say all lives matter, as if saying Black Lives Matter means that other people's lives don't matter. And this is what I've found. So when you back a group's collective prejudice with legal authority and institutional control, it is transformed into a far-reaching system that becomes the default of the society, which is what systemic racism is. So on the topic of reverse racism, on the topic of, to say Black Lives Matter is reverse racism because it says that all lives don't matter. So we need to start saying all lives matter. How do you feel?
Well, again, I mean,